Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Murray and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of The Gift of Giving. This is a program that focuses and features non-profits, 501c3s and foundations based right here in the state of Nevada. Today we have some wonderful guests representing an amazing organization, and it's truly amazing. It's called Barn Buddies Rescue. And we'd like to welcome the founder and owner, Sharon Linson-Bard,
Thank you.
and a face that most of you will recognize, Lark Williams. You're on the board of advisors. And we have Baba, the goat.
Baba.
She's the best.
Baba.
Baba.
She doesn't know she's a goat.
She doesn't know she's a goat,
family member.
but she's a family member.
She's a family.
Okay. Well, thanks for all coming today and sharing what we're doing at Barn Buddies Rescue. And this is a wonderful organization for all you animal lovers out there. So first of all, Sharon, why don't you give us a brief overview of Barn Buddies Rescue and when you founded it?
We started around 1960, 65, 67, somewhere in that area. I've been saving animals for 70 years.
Oh my
But
goodness.
we started on our property back in the early 60s and early 70s, and we've been saving farm animals for that period of time.
Okay.
So we are the Las Vegas Farm and Barn Buddies Rescue and Sanctuary.
Okay.
And we take care of farm animals, goats, cows, horses, sheep, pigs, those types of animals.
The whole shebang.
The whole shebang. So what comes to us comes from the farm group of animals. We don't take in dogs or cats, and we just don't have the room or the capacity for that. But we do everything else. It has to do with the farm. And
Okay.
we're at a point now where our animals take up the majority of our day.
Sure.
Yes, and we take in those animals that are in absolute desperate need to have a place to live out their lives. They've been abused, they've been abandoned, they've been beaten, they've been starved, whatever the situation was. We take them in when they're really, really in need of our service and in need of our help and in need of our property to be able to live out their lives.
Wow.
So,
Well, Sharon, you said you started this in the late 60s, so that's over 55 years. Well,
correct.
yes, by my calculation, or 50 years anyway. What made you start it? I mean, you had to have been a kid when you started this.
I did. However,
No pun intended.
However, I have been saving animals since I could breathe. That is,
Okay.
that's part of who I am. That's my DNA. I save, I rescue. I am so in tune with animals that I just can't imagine living my life any other way.
So it evolved into,
It
you
evolved
started
into,
out small
once-
and it just evolved.
once people found out that that's what I do, they just started coming.
Yes.
They just started showing up. They
You're
just
like
started.
a magnet.
Yes, it was. And as it progresses, I can only take those I can afford, not only in space, but in finances and in time. And we take everything that we have space for and time for and finances for. And they live out their lives in sanctuary with us. We
Nice.
don't adopt them out. We don't send them elsewhere. They come to us to live out their life with us until they pass of old age. And that's what we try to preach to people. Do not get an animal unless you plan on allowing them to live with you for the life, their lifespan. Don't get them and then want to rehome them and put them here and put them there, or have someone else like me have to take them over. You
Yes.
get an animal that you can keep with you until that animal passes of its natural lifespan. We try to educate the kids, educate the public, because that's really, really important. These animals have got to have a place to stop and to be with those that they love. They bond just like people do,
Yes.
and they don't like being moved around.
It makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. And Lark, now, how did you become involved in this organization? You're on the board of advisors. How did you hear about it, and
Well,
how long have you been involved?
almost probably 8-9 years ago, I was doing a show at PBS, and Sharon was one of the guests. And in the green room before the show, to make everybody comfortable, I said, I'm this and I'm Lark. And she looked at me. One of the things about Sharon, there's no gray area. You're going to know where she says. She says, you don't remember me. So, no. I said, well, refresh my memory. And she said, you helped me found the Animal Foundation, which was a no-kill shelter over 40 years ago. And I had not heard of Barn Buddies Rescue Sanctuary. I had not heard of the Las Vegas Farm. And so then I asked the second worst question to warm up a guest in the green room. I said, well, gosh, Sharon, if I used to help you, because I did do animal adoptions on my TV show way back then, ended up with most fostering them myself forever. So I said, well, how come I haven't heard of Barn Buddies Rescue? So again, second worst question. She said, because I don't have marketing dollars like all the others. And every dime I have goes to the feed, the care, the vet bills of my animals.
Yes.
Correct.
We haven't even done the shoot yet. So I turned to her and I took her hand. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a deal with you. See if I don't want to tear up here, but I said, I will make a promise to you that with my last breath, with my voice, I will be a voice for those who cannot speak, and I will never leave your side again. So from that moment, I have never left her. I was amazed at what she had accomplished and what she does. And then you spend time with her over the years. I have never in my life met someone like this extraordinary woman, and her love and passion and ability, her knowledge, from the smallest little tiny bird that fell out of a tree to the largest of our cows and horses. It's been the most joy I have is coming out, and basically it's my home away from home. It is.
Yes.
Well, I know Sharon considers you her right-hand person in the conversations and emails, communications we've had.
Well, on my radio show, one of the negotiations I said was I get to talk about Barn Buddies Rescue, my charity. So yes, so thank you.
No, that's great. No, it's great. So now you talked about the birds and the largest animals, and we've got the goats here. How many different kinds of animals do you have? You mentioned over the phone.
Anything other than cats and dogs. I don't have the space for cats and dogs. There's so many lovely rescues in Las Vegas for cats and dogs. I just don't have the space or the time for cats and dogs. They're abundant out there. They need help. Please reach out to those that do help them. But as far as farm animals and the different types of animals that live on a farm, cows, goats, horses, pigs, those types of things, they end up with me for the most part.
Yeah.
And but again, I am limited in space.
Sure.
We're trying our best to get more space, and of course we are always desperate for funds and money and land. And if anybody can help us in that regard, we welcome the help. We welcome it every single minute of the day. If somebody wants to help us,
you come up with some things, I think, that help out, very creative ideas. We're going to talk about some of them in the second segment, some of these wonderful creative ideas you've got. But you also have a farm that you use and you get egg from the chickens that presumably you sell. And I saw you on your website, you sell honey and other kinds of things. So would you like to talk a little bit about the farm?
It's not just any honey. We truly have local honey. I have 124 beehives. I am the beekeeper. I don't let people get next to my hives. The liability is too great, and I don't have the time to educate the bee community that wants to learn. It would be nice. I just don't have that kind of time. So I get the honey. We sell it there at our farm. We don't sell it anywhere else. Okay. And it is an amazing product when it's a local product. Yes. We don't feed our bees sugar. We don't add any scents or anything to our honey. It's natural, raw, local honey. Wow. So if anybody's starting right now to sneeze and have their issues with allergies, they need to come see us and start on our honey right away. Because we have thousands of people that say
that's all they come for. Some of them.
That's it. I couldn't be outside if it wasn't for your honey, Sharon. Yes. Thank you so much. You've saved me.
Wow.
So our honey is a product that that no one else has, because we truly have local honey, and that's a good thing. That's very good.
The honey is the only food that doesn't go bad either.
It's found in the tombs of Egypt. It will not go bad. It might coagulate a little bit, not be quite have so much viscosity in it, but it always is good. Yes. It will not grow mold. It will not grow bacteria. It's been used not only for person's health, but it's been used for wounds and all types of different medicinal things over the years. And we treat some of our wounds and some of our scratches and ouchies on these animals with my honey. And it's amazing how it works. It's just an amazing thing.
It's got all kinds of medicinal benefits.
It does.
And what else do you sell there?
Well,
other
we
than
have
honey?
our chicken eggs.
Uh-huh.
I always have to, chickens only lay eggs for about 4 or 5 years, and then they stop.
Uh-huh.
And but we don't do anything with our birds other than let them live out their life.
Sure.
So our birds will lay for probably 4 or 5 years, and then they really slow down. But we let them live out their life. Some of them haven't laid an egg in 10 years, but we still love them.
That's right.
We still have them, and we still care for them. And then about every 3 or 4 years, I've got to get in a new influx of chickens, because our egg sales help us to help feed the rest, cover our costs. So we've always got to have chickens laying eggs, geese, peacocks, different animals that lay eggs, turkeys, quail. We've got all types of different eggs and the birds that we raise to produce those eggs. And there's nowhere else in the valley where you can get the ducks. There's nowhere else in the valley you can get a duck egg other than
Quackers.
They're quackers.
Your buddies.
Yes, we got quackers all the time. So that's another thing that we must do at the farm, is we must keep lighting on our birds, our chickens, and our ducks and our quail. As the light tends to shift in our valley over time, they must have 14 to 16 hours of light, or they'll stop laying and say, okay, I'll just wait till spring.
Right.
Well, we don't allow them to wait till spring.
Right.
We say we've got to produce these in order to help care for the rest of the animals. So our lights come on and help us to be able to have a constant flow of farm fresh eggs. So our honey and everything else is available at the farm every Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 4. And that's that we welcome the public in.
Rain, snow, holidays.
At the end of the program. In the meantime, we're going to take a brief sponsorship break. Please stay with us, folks. We'll be back with Barn Buddies Rescue with Sharon and Lark. Then we're going to talk about some of the creative ways they've got of raising funds for this organization, and some that you might wish to participate in. I'll be right back.
Tariffs, pandemics, rising inflation. The Joshua Dowden team is ready when volatility happens. Markets fluctuate for reasons nobody can control. Don't let the headlines drive your financial plan. The Joshua Dowden team at Priority Wealth Partners has served Summerlin retirees for 3 decades. Our 5-tier risk management strategy matches our strategies with your goals, with plans designed for your assets to be there when you need them. Conveniently located at the heart of downtown Summerlin. Call Joshua Dowden today or visit DowdenFinancialServices.com.
Welcome back, everyone, and I'd like to welcome back our guests today, Sharon Linsenbard and Lark Williams, both involved with Barn Buddies Rescue and Sanctuary. Before we get into some of these events that you have, or opportunities you have for the public, do you have any in-house veterinarian services, or how do you handle these animals? You said when some of them come to you, they're almost at death's door.
Costly.
They are. It's constant. It's costly.
It's heartbreaking.
And it's heartbreaking every day. And when the animals come to us, they are at death's door. They are in such need of care. And they absolutely must have a veterinarian.
Yeah.
And we do not have an on-site staff veterinarian. We have asked many, many times
On our wish list.
Yeah,
Yes.
for the veterinarian community to volunteer with us. We'd like to get 12 vets, maybe 14 vets in this valley, to give us 6 hours once a year to come out to the farm once a month and get one of those vets to come out and spend about 6 hours with us. We'll gather up those animals that need care, see if that animal, if it needs to go to a vet for any further care, teeth or anything else, we can take them to that veterinary's clinic, and then we can move on to the next vet. But we have been struggling to get any of the veterinary community to come out and give us those 6 hours once a year. And if there's any vets out there that want to try to take that plight up for us, we certainly would need to have some veterinarians to come out and give us a little bit of help just once a month for a few hours. And it would be a wonderful thing for our animals.
Well, and one of the things that's kind of surprising, there's not a lot that deal with farm animals that have been trained. They're dogs and cats.
Yes.
And so we'll have to go out of state for certain things that we need done yearly and twice a year. But that's been a big thing for us to find and put the word out. We would love to have on property a vet school, a vet bus, an apprenticeship program or something like that. So It's been on our
Yes.
wish
Is
list
there
for a long
any
time.
viewers out there that know of any veterans that would like to participate in this? Please reach out to them, and
We're very grateful to the vets.
yes.
Can't do
Yes.
without them.
done
And
anything
we've
they
been
can do.
struggling for the last 2 or 3 years to try to get a grant so that we can get a serviceable veterinarian facility on our property. And then we can find some vets that have actually got a perfect spot to work out of.
Right.
So we're really trying very, very hard to get those grants. They're just difficult to acquire. So, but we need several $100,000 to get that vet clinic set up and set down. So we're reaching out right now to try to find that.
Okay.
And but we really need veterinarians to help us.
We do.
There are so few multi-species vets in this valley,
Yes, I'm
and
sure.
it's very difficult to find them to help the animals that we have.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the ways you are covering the costs, seeing as you don't have grants or anything right now. So you have birthday parties,
Yes, we have.
and I'm sure there's not many people out there that know that you have children's birthday parties, or even adult birthday parties.
best.
We have
what a
adult parties.
fantastic
We
place
have
for
anniversaries.
parties.
We have children's parties, adult parties, anniversary parties. We have lovely parties for the kids. We've yet to have anyone leave our property and say, oh, that just wasn't the best time ever. And when they have adult birthday parties, the comments you get are, we're still talking about the time we spent on the farm
So
instead of that dinner we went to that everybody
Yes.
forgot. So we've got a lovely group of people. Once they find us, they come back.
Yes.
They're so much fun, and it's so
I'm
different.
sure.
And the
Now,
weddings.
Do you get caterers in for these birthday parties?
Well, we'll go.
Or-
We've got our own catering
Caterer,
group
okay.
of people that we
Mhm.
enjoy that help us a little bit.
Okay.
We've got all kinds of things. But like Lark said, we've got birthday parties, field trips, weddings
I
at
was
the
going to talk
farm.
They're
about
so
those too.
Beautiful.
Weddings, and I see you even have a wedding chapel.
Yes, we do.
And that chapel came from Bonnie's.
Bonnie
Bonnie
Springs.
Springs
Bonnie
Ranch.
Springs.
When Bonnie
Right.
Springs closed down, we
So
gathered up the chapel and brought it to the farm.
Board by board.
Yes.
yes, that had been some
Oh, it
task
was.
in and of
So
itself.
amazing. She orchestrated, numbered all the boards, had it together in just several weeks, a very
few
short
weeks.
time. Now it does have air conditioning and heating. It's got electricity. It is stunning. It's
Well, it's
beautiful.
nice because then if people want to have weddings there, it's nice to know that it isn't an actual chapel. Where
Well,
the
we do our
ceremony will be
outdoor
held.
weddings as well, which
Yes.
are beautiful.
Yes, because I
Yes,
think you
both.
said you have some sunset weddings, beautiful sunset
They're
weddings.
gorgeous,
And things like
gorgeous
that.
at the sunsets. The
Yes.
lights come on, the sun's setting, it's beautiful. A lot of people are very, very excited about outdoor farm barn weddings. We've had Baba's
Yes.
walk down the aisle
Yes,
with
she
several of our
has.
brides.
And peacocks as well.
Peacocks as well.
Well, the animal lovers,
Yes, and
there's
we
so
might
many
add,
animal lovers.
every dollar we take in on our weddings goes towards the animals, not
Yes.
towards me or staff or any of that. We pay the basic expenses, the flowers and the
Sure,
food
of
and that
course.
type of thing. But all dollars that come into us through our weddings go right back in to help the animals.
Keep
And a
the
lot of
animals
people
alive.
appreciate that and like that,
Mhm.
to where their dollars are
Yes.
going.
Well, now you also have field trips. Now these field trips for schools.
Correct.
And you-
Schools, home schools, CCSD schools, charter schools, groups of people. We have minimum standards that we have to have as far as amount of people. We have to have liability releases for these kids to come on property. We bring them on property. They bus them in. They drag them in by car. They have such a wonderful time.
Oh, I'll bet.
And but we bring them all in. We try to educate during that hour and a
Yes.
half that we have
Yes.
them. It's all about education.
Of course.
All about education.
Yes,
Some of these-
raising awareness.
Yes.
The majority of the kids on these field trips, not only them, but the parents, if some parents, they've never seen a farm animal before. They've heard about them, they've seen them maybe on TV, but in Las Vegas, not up close and personal,
No.
a cow the size of Billy.
Cow the size of Billy.
How many,
is huge.
how many field trips do you have a year? Is the Clark County School District, are they very cooperative with you? Do they reach out and say, we'd like the school to come, or that school? Or
We've had
How does
an
that work?
ongoing effort to reach out to them. and getting the teachers, getting the principals, getting the different classes. We take them from little tiny kids up to teenage kids. And we like to bring them in, as many as we can, from all of the CCSD schools. All of the schools, the charter schools have been great, but anybody that wants to bring in a group of kids for us to educate, and or adults,
And specialty groups like autistic children, special needs children, animals by their nature, especially horses, just have an affinity. They're like dolphins, except for on land, where they have just these incredible, huge hearts and healing abilities. And an animal I brought, a friend of mine came in from Texas specifically to come out. He has tremors. He's barely 10 years old. And when I said, let's feed the horse, when he was able to have his hand connect with the horse's mouth, his trembling stopped. And the parents could not believe they'd never seen it. And the smile on his face, it was, there was not a dry eye in our little group to see this child just not fearful at all of a huge animal like that.
They say animals respond to fear. And of course, children, especially the special needs.
And when you can teach them, show them, I'll either put their hand in mine and we'll do it. And then I'll say, now you do it. Flat hand, and the horse will come to you. It's one of the
magical
moment.
We have a blind horse out there, and every week 1, 2, 3 people that are also blind or sight limited come out just to see Backy, just to interact with Backy. And the moment they make contact with Backy, it seems like Backy understands, they understand, and it's a wonderful union. We have got all kinds of different animals. Our big cows are just the sweetest, kindest animals that you'd ever want to meet. And so many people are overwhelmed with the cows, and that they love to come out and visit them. But Backy is special. Some of our animals don't have all their legs, all their wings, all their limbs, or their eyes, whatever it is. We don't put them down because of an infirmity. We don't put them down because of a handicap. And the handicap community, we have a wheelchair ramp around now, where the wheelchairs and the walkers and those different types of community gatherings can happen and be quite safe out where we are.
Yeah. On that note, we're going to take another sponsorship break. Please stay with us, folks. We're going to be right back with Barn Buddies Rescue and with Sharon and Lark. They're going to share more information with us. Please stay with us.
Introducing Pacific Coast Capital, your partner in finance. We provide financing for your business. Speed, flexibility, and creativity are the foundation of our service. We'll help you navigate through change and opportunities. Our 90-plus years of experience ensures quick turnaround on loan decisions. Ride the wave to prosperity with us. Ready for new funding? Visit our website today at pacificcoastcap.com.
Welcome back, everyone. And I'd like to welcome back Sharon and Lark from representing Barn Buddies Rescue today. And this is truly an amazing organization. What a wonderful job you're doing for these abused animals. It's just incredible. I'd like to talk a little bit about, there's one thing I noticed on your website that I'd like to talk about is your angel tree. And what a wonderful, interesting program that is. Would you like to talk a little bit about Angel Tree? Because this is where people can actually go and essentially sponsor an animal.
Yes,
is
they
what
can.
It looks like. So
Yes, they can.
Tell us a little bit about that, if you will.
We have a large tree in the middle of our market with an envelope for every single animal that we care for, every animal. And what we ask for is what it takes to take care of that animal for a month or for a year, And it's got some different dollar amounts on there that you can donate, small, large, medium, big, whatever. But the Angel Tree helps us care for these animals in a way that adds additional revenue so that we can buy them a brush, buy them a salt block, get them a new blanket, get them a special vitamin or a special food, because a lot of our animals are older and they've been, some of them don't have teeth, some of them are diabetic, some of them can't digest carbohydrates. They all have different needs after
Sure.
they come to us. So all those needs require specialty feed and specialty items to care for them. So our Angel Tree, you just pick an envelope off of our Angel Tree and you can walk up to the register and you can help us care for those individual animals. And that really helps us a lot. Every
Sure.
dollar that comes in has to come in from the community or what we sell at our market. And our market is lovely, and we have an awful lot of lovely breads and pies and jams and jellies and honey and vegetables. We just have a lovely market.
I'll follow you home.
Yes. However, it's not enough to cover our huge
course.
costs
Yeah.
to care for these animals, not only their feed bill. I don't let them lay on the ground. They must lay on a good bedding source so that they don't get sores on their hips or their elbows getting up and down. We have we got an amazing, just our fly system alone cost me thousands of dollars each month. But you don't come out to our property and get overwhelmed with flies because our system tells the flies go elsewhere. It's
Yes.
a
a
scent
nice way
that
to
they
put it.
don't like. Back off, go somewhere else, and it's a scent that they don't like, but it has to be kept up, and that really helps our animals to stay healthier, helps our people to have a better experience around the farm, and it keeps the flies down quite a bit, and it's expensive to do, but I think it's real important not only for our guests but for the animals
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Worthwhile. Put a lot of thought into all this stuff that goes on here. Now you have one other fundraising thing. It appears, $10 club.
Yes, our $10 club once a month. You can sign up for $10 to $100 to $1,000, whatever it is that you can bear. And that'll help us once a month to be able to gather up the funds. Our feed bill's around $13,000-$14,000 a month just to feed these animals. And when you kick in the straw and the power bill and the garbage bill, it really adds up. So that little $10 from many people really helps us. That $20 helps us. $25 helps us. So get onto our website, thelasvegasfarm.com or barnbuddiesrescue.org, and you can find a spot to donate either monthly or in a lump sum. And you can find a way to help us, find a way to assist us with the animals through the Angel Tree.
Sponsor an animal, become a regular donor.
Correct.
Because we're only open
Get
to
married there.
get married.
Have a field trip, birthday. You've got all kinds of opportunities. You've been very creative in fundraising opportunities.
Thank you.
Well, we're only open to the public Saturdays and Sundays 9 to 4
Yes.
because you're looking at animals that have all been traumatized already. So
Yes,
we don't
Yes.
want them traumatized further.
of course.
And then every year our harvest festival is famous. How many years? Well, 53 years she's been doing it.
We've been doing our harvest festival for decades. And from September to November, we are overwhelmed with pumpkins and squash and kids and train rides and our concession stand and whatever we can do to make it an enjoyable time
Yes.
for people.
Special.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here.
We try to do that to have an excellent time for them. We don't have bounce houses and that kind of stuff. We just have good old farm fun.
Yes.
And
Yes,
it's a lovely time. Lovely
Sometimes
time.
if you bring things like bounce houses in, it
Oh,
changes the
it does.
changes the dynamic.
It
doesn't
does. And the animals couldn't tolerate that.
No.
No.
Now, I think you implied that this is all manned by volunteers. You're a volunteer yourself.
Correct.
You've never taken a paycheck for
Never.
this. What volunteer opportunities are there in the organizations? What are you looking for people to come and help you out with? Is it take some of these animals like the goat for walks, or
Typically, when
feeding these animals, or
no,
what?
I don't let
How are you
anybody else
looking?
feed. I don't let anybody feed. I've
Okay.
got a couple of people that help me feed because of the diversified diets that they must have to
Yes.
stay healthy.
Yes.
Colic is a killer.
Yes.
And if you don't manage your, especially the horses and even the goats and the alpacas and the llama, anybody that gets an upset stomach that's a serious issue in the farm animal community. The biggest killer of horses is colic. Colic is a dangerous thing, and it can come in many different forms, but it all relates to their gut. So I don't let anybody else feed them. I don't let anybody bring in food for the animals. They have to purchase our little bag of grass hay that we supply for them. Some of the animals can't assimilate their carbohydrates, so I can't give them alfalfa because it's got too much sugar content. You can't come back and give them a bunch of carrots or apples. Some of them don't have teeth. They could choke to death. So
Yes.
you may bring them in and I will disperse them, but we don't let anybody come in the back with food to see the
No.
animal. And there's plenty of food that we
Yes.
have there for them to purchase at the gate, and they can have a lovely time feeding the animals. But they're too as big as they are,
They're fragile.
they're very fragile. They're very
So-
fragile.
So what do you have volunteers do then when they come?
We cannot do without volunteer staff. Our volunteers are the heartbeat of our organization. I'm a volunteer. Lark's a volunteer. Everybody that comes there to help us has to give of their time and their heart and their love just for the animals.
It's a lot of cleaning.
Yes.
She keeps a clean
I
nest everywhere.
I keep a clean
So that's what you want
A lot
them
of
to
cleaning.
do,
Yeah.
cleaning up and
cleaning up,
Yes.
filling our little hay bags, keeping the
There you
market
go.
in order.
okay.
I won't let brand new volunteers get too close to the animals until I get to know them and understand who they are and what knowledge they have. I don't want my volunteers hurt and I don't want the animals hurt. So typically they'll be in a cleanup mode, cleanup crew. And
Well-
ever so often, we got to get some of them in there to help us give baths to all the animals.
That's right.
Yeah.
And for example, we have a rabbitat there, beautiful rabbitat, and a huge 30-foot rabbit that the Venetian donated to us a couple years ago when it was Year of the Rabbit. So she had that donation. She built a facility, and we have all of our rabbits in one location. Well, you need to clean those cages out every
Yes.
week, and then we let them out on the weekends. They have a grassy area where it's interactive, and our rabbitat, thanks to the Venetian, became just something. She's always a visionary, always
Yeah.
creating something new to expand and improve upon the area, the acreage that we have. But she keeps a very tidy place. And why aren't you cleaning? Like, okay, I need why isn't a rag in your hand?
Why isn't a rag in
Why
your
isn't a rag in your hand?
So the volunteers will pick and choose, their capabilities, we won't ask them to do more than what they're capable of doing, and we'll interact with them, but the volunteers are critical. We have a few men that I do employ because at my age, I can't do the heavy stuff anymore, nor can Glenn. But we have a few people that I trust to not only feed, but to do the heavy lifting.
Right.
And, but everybody else has to help us keep the area tidy, keep it in order, keep it clean, keep the animals, in a healthy state. And that's what they do for us. But we can't get by without volunteers.
And this is kind of an aside, but I get asked this a lot, and Sharon does at times as well. We're only open on the weekends to the public, correct? So they see the animals in their different cages or locales.
Yeah.
During the week, which I have the privilege of going out, we let the animals out. The horses get to roam around. We have an area that's a pasture on the other side that's not open to the public. So I would like to say that publicly, that these animals do get their exercise. They get out, they get to be with each other and to see our cows go at their size, kicking and spinning. It is the most precious thing. So I wanted to say that during the week,
Oh,
they get to come out.
good to mention.
Yes, it is.
And you mentioned you're only open the weekends
That's it.
to the public. So first, whereabouts is
7222 West Grand Teton. And we've been there for over 50 years.
It's up the street from Gilcrease in the orchard. It's not that. It's up on the north corner.
Okay.
right
Yeah,
there.
we're not associated with the orchard at all.
Yeah.
We're across the street.
okay.
We've been there an awfully long time. And the Las Vegas farm is our sales area where we have our farmers market, and
But they're all together.
they're all together. And then in order to go in the back, people have to choose to go in the back and see the animals
Alrighty.
and purchase a small bag of hay. And then they can go back there and spend as much time as they wish interacting with the animals.
Alrighty. And what are the times on the weekends that you're open?
9 to 4.
Go ahead, Laura.
9 a.m. to 4 p.m. except for during Harvest Festival, when we'll open a little bit longer in the
Okay.
evenings. That's our pumpkin time, and it's a little like she said. We have the concession stand. We have some festivities going on. It's a lovely time to come out and get your pumpkins with us.
Big.
Yes.
So it's 9
Have
to
a-
4 and
9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
yeah,
at the regular
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday. Rain, snow, holidays. Every Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 4.
Correct.
Okay. And would you like to give out the website address and the phone number?
Yes, it's www.barnbuddiesrescue.org and thelasvegasfarm.com. www.thelasvegasfarm.com.
702-982-8000. When the phone rings, I answer it and say hello. I don't own a message machine. And that helps us. The only reason I do that, because it's overwhelming to answer the phone continually. Sometimes I get a little short with people and they're not happy with me when I'm in a hurry.
Oh,
But the whole reason for me answering the phone, what would happen if an animal was in trouble?
that's it.
How can they leave a message with an animal that's in trouble? I've either got to answer a question,
Mhm.
help them in some way, give
Right.
them direction, give them advice, give them another place to call. But I want the animals to have the care they need, and they can't get that if I don't answer the phone, and they're looking for my type of expertise.
There you go. I think it's an amazing organization what you're doing for these abused animals that
Very
are sick and keeping them going and knowing that they're not in pain, but allowing them to live out the rest of their lives in a humane way.
The humane way.
So-
We don't do any breeding either.
No.
No.
People sometimes will see like a little bug. They'll say, "Is she pregnant?" No, she's just fluffy.
These
Some of
fluffy.
Some of them are a little overweight, but that happens when they get a little extra feed. But the animals are all healthy. They're not in pain. If they are in pain, we have a veterinarian that we call and we keep them on the proper medications. I will not let an animal go as long as his eyes and his face tells me I'm not ready yet.
That's right.
Yes.
As soon as they let me know they're ready, they will let me know. And then we will have a discussion with the board members and with the
That's right.
veterinarians and make those decisions. Always difficult.
So, of
But
course.
even at my age, I'm going to probably outlive most every animal on the property, except possibly the tortoises. But
Yes.
all the animals, their lifespans aren't as long as I'd like them to be, but we keep them healthy and happy and pain-free until the end of their lifespan.
I'll give you an example. This happened, seems not so long ago, because it never gets easier. When anybody who loves and cares for animals, it never gets easier. There was a donkey, one of the most precious, beautiful angels I've ever met, Jessa. The vet for 2 years was telling Sharon she needs to be put down. But like Sharon said, her eyes don't tell me that. This animal lived an extra, almost more than 2 years. She was 46 years old
Oh my
when
goodness.
and she passed in her sleep.
In her
And it
face.
was still one of the hardest things, but here is the gift that came on the heels of that. Remember, we said earlier, we don't take anyone that we don't have room for. We can't take on just everybody. We have 2 donkeys that came from Pahrump. When the woman died, her kids could not care for the mother and the son, and with the son. And Elena from Pahrump, who has donkeys in Pahrump, they came to her. She didn't have room for them. We were able to house these 2, this mother and son,
Amazing.
that are just, they're beautiful and they're precious, and they get to live the rest of their life in peace with us.
Jessa sent them.
Jessa, it really was a
As
miracle.
soon as Jessa
Jessa
left,
passed, she gets this phone call.
here
And
they
we took
come.
them in.
It's an amazing
I
thing.
think
I have a
That's
video
so-
on if you go to my Facebook page, you can see the video of when they arrived. It's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Yeah, it's real fun. It's real fun.
what a wonderful note to end the program. I think that's a beautiful note to end the program. So I'd like to thank you both for coming on and sharing what
We thank you so much for
Barn
getting
Buddies
the word
Rescue.
out for Barn
Oh,
Buddies
yeah.
Rescue and Sanctuary.
hope you get a lot of support, a lot of
We-
weddings, a lot of
Weddings,
birthdays.
field trips.
And,
Thank you so much.
No, it's been a pleasure. And I'd also like to thank John Stiles, the station owner and show's producer, for allowing me to have this program and host it. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Pacific Coast Capital, Priority Wealth Partners, the Firelight Barn, and my late business partner, Ralph John Champion, whose legacy lives on through this program. You'll hear his message right at the end. And finally, I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. Hopefully you can support and help this organization, and especially if you know any veterinarians that can donate 6 hours of their time per year, please reach out. It would be greatly appreciated and help reduce the enormous expenses of this wonderful organization. If you have any comments or questions, please reach out to me, Stephen, at thegiftofgiving.vegas. I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, I hope you have a great week ahead. Please stay safe, be kind to one another. Bye for now.
Mr. R.J. Champion is proud to sponsor WWDB-TV's series, The Gift of Giving, and wishes the program much success. Congratulations and gratitude to the featured guests and the organizations they represent. Our community is well served by your tireless efforts to make Nevada a better state for all its residents.